We've just heard Peter Mandelson, the Secretary of State for Business, say that any fears over the level of immigrant workers in Britain is unfounded. In fact, he's claimed that immigrant workers simply come to Britain to fulfil jobs that British workers are either unable or unwilling to do. Now, all this is coming in the wake of the Prime Minister famously saying British jobs for British workers, people losing their jobs amidst the recession of the economy, and the unofficial strikes last month involving British workers walking out of a refinery in Lincolnshire in protest of Italian and Portuguese workers being brought in to do a job which they felt they could have done just as well themselves. Now, some might say that Peter Mandelson has got a point in that there has been a drop in the number of young people coming forward to become tradesmen, plumbers, carpenters, things like that. But in the current economic climate, it makes sense that people would be willing to take up any job they could in order to keep paying the bills. It doesn't seem right that people would be turning their noses up at a job they know they could do just as well as an immigrant worker. Now, this certainly seems more in line with the Conservatives' argument that employment levels for British nationals are actually at a 3-year low. This certainly seems in line with popular opinion. Now, all this is likely to affect young people particularly badly. I mean, if they're trying to make their way into their first job, particularly if it's in a trade or if they're going into catering, for example, it's very difficult to know as a young person who to believe. Do you side with Peter Mandelson and the government and think that actually your job is safe, it's there? Or do you side with the Conservatives and think actually I could be under threat from an immigrant worker coming to work cheaper and longer hours? All of this leaves a lot of questions left to be answered. If you side with Labour and you think that everything is okay in terms of a job market, do you have to look at a way of preparing British workers to take on these jobs, or can you continue to rely on the immigrant workforce coming in and taking these jobs on themselves? If you side with the Conservatives, what do you need to do in order to shift the focus to British workers and plug this gap, this 3-year gap they say exists? Let us know what you think at catch21.co.uk.